Really, obviously, hard-fought game. Two teams fighting, to keep their seasons alive and continue to play on, like you see around the country everywhere. I'm just really proud of our guys. The fight that it took to continue to defend at the level we were able to tonight, even when shots weren't falling. And that kind of goes back to who we were when we were really good early in the year. Not really getting deflated when we didn't make shots, but continue to believe our defense and rebounding could carry us, and it certainly did tonight.
Okay, we will go with questions from the players. Make sure and raise a hand. We'll get a microphone to you there. Let's go right here.
Jacob under the Oklahoma. Mike, you mentioned the defense. What did you like on a night that, like you said, the shots aren't falling, but what did you like about the defense that's been different the last few weeks?
I just felt like the kids, stuck with the game plan. Obviously we knew that they had been playing better and playing, with some younger guys out there, but for the most part, they were going to play through Tanner and Grant, and we wanted to try to limit their efficiency and effectiveness, and I thought they didn't really get a bunch of easy looks really until late in the game. So I just appreciate those guys for sticking with our staff, really, because a lot of times when you go through the struggles we've gone through in today's world, they get told that their coaches don't know what they're doing. And so for them to continue to believe in us and believe in each other is a big deal. So glad to see those guys, just stick with the game plan from start to finish.
Remember, we're just asking questions for the players for the next few minutes. Got a question for a player right here?
Tyreek, at the beginning of the year, you said that you wanted your conditioning to stand out. Today, I think you had 14 rebounds. You're kind of all over the place. How do you think that's come to be here late in the season?
It starts in practice. I just try to work on my conditioning anytime I can, and I guess it's showing now, so it's good. I like that.
John Walker, Stillwater News Press. Tyreek, they've been playing through Tanner for the past couple of weeks. What pride did you take in drawing that assignment down low today and kind of limiting him to what he was held to today?
I always take pride in defense. I feel like that's one of my best values on the court. Even Coach said he thinks I'm, the best defender on the team. So I take pride in guarding anybody and everybody.
Barry Trammell with the Oklahoma. And Bryce, early in the game, or most of the game really, neither offense was getting any kind of rhythm. But early in the game, you were able to hit some shots and make some good passes for baskets. How much did you realize the frustration of most of the offense, and why were you able, more than anybody else on the court, to be successful?
I was just kind of taking what they gave me. Coach did a good job of, drawing up plays where I was able to come off down screens, and from there I was just reading it, and they were switching early. So whenever I got one of the bigs on the island, I kind of just backed it up and took my time and was able to get to my spots. And then from there, they kind of started guarding me up a little bit more, and then I think that's when you see the passes and just making the right read and making the right play for sure.
Yeah, Marshall Scott with Pistol Sparring. Bryce, you mentioned you tried to take what they gave you. Is that difficult to continue to be patient whenever shots aren't falling elsewhere?
You just got to go with the flow of the game. You can't really try to force it, because then that's when you make, unnecessary errors. Just kind of go with the flow, take what they give you, and just make the right play. And then from there, you can't really control whether the shots go in, but, you just want to make sure you're taking good shots and you're just making the right play each time.
Bryce, back here, way in the back. Chris Williams, News 9 Oklahoma City. Is the feeling like you guys have done enough to get in now, or do you feel like tomorrow you're going to have the same do-or-die approach?
I'm going to be honest, I don't really pay attention to the bigger picture right now. We're just kind of focused on game by game, and I think if we continue with that approach, all that will take care of itself. So if we just, go to sleep tonight, get some rest, focus on the game plan, and come out ready to play against Texas, then, we'll see what happens from there.
Another one on the photo deck in the back, and then we've got one right here. Let's go right here first.
Yeah, Tyreek, I think it's 2 straight games that the starting lineup change with you and Cisse back in. How much do you think that's helped your defense with, of course, the rim protection and the rebounding and just the grittiness of yourself and Muse?
Well, I try to feed off my teammates. Not only myself, I take part in defense, but we all do. So I think that me being in the lineup, it kind of boosts us, gives us a good boost, because we can be very versatile in many ways. So I think that's what it was.
Let's go on the photo deck in the back.
Yes, Holden Cruz, Mark, Oklahoma's News 4. Bryce, this is a rivalry matchup. What does it feel like knowing you essentially ended your rival's season?
I mean, you got to give credit to them. You know, they're a good team. They've done a lot of good things this year, but you know, we just came out ready to play, and it's our third time playing them, and we beat them all 3 times, and you know, I think that's just a credit to, you know, our team and our staff and our coaches of, you know, preparing us the right way and not getting satisfied, because it could have been easy for us to, you know, come out in this game and be kind of smooth just because we beat them twice already, but you know, coach made sure that we were locked in and we were ready, and we treated it like it was the next game.
1 or 2 more for the players. First one's right here.
Yeah, Tyreek, I give Tanner Groves a lot of credit because he kept trying, but you guys weren't letting him do anything. What is it about this matchup, all 3 games really, that you guys, you and Musa and even Caleb, able to neutralize him so effectively?
Well, I feel like we all on edge because, you know, we trying to get to the tournament, so we just stepping it up on defense because we always said we could be like a top 5 defense in the country, and I think we showed that we could. We very capable of doing it, so I think that's what it was.
One last question for the players. Not seeing one. We'll excuse the players to the locker room that's open to the media, and continuing with questions
Thank
for
you.
Coach Boynton. Get a hand up, and we'll get a wireless mic to you. Right over here, Coach, to the right.
Yeah, Mike, at different parts of the year, you've said it's just important to win by 1 point. It was that kind of what today was coming down to?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that I think part of it is the who we are as a program, you know, and where we're trying to go is just being consistently good, and getting better from the start of the year to the end of the year. And you have to continue to preach the same message over and over and over again for it to sink into kids and to recruits and to families. And if every week you're changing that message, you don't really have any core to stand on. And so I think, you know, just sticking with that has helped us be able to focus on the next task. And, you know, I got a lot of respect for the program that we played today and their coach. They obviously have played a lot better over the last couple of weeks, as I said earlier. But our guys were bound and determined tonight to get the job done and continue in this tournament, and then kind of seeing where we can go from here. But, you know, every game, you know, in this league, a 1-point win, you know, takes you a long way. And so I'm glad we got one more under our belt.
Mike, it was less than 3 weeks ago. You guys had the rough defensive stretch against TCU, Kansas, and then West Virginia. How gratifying is it to return to where you guys were and hold OU to 49?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a hard conference to navigate for 2.5 months. It really is. And, you know, I don't know this to be a fact, but I would find it hard to believe that there's any other Power 5 conference where every team lost at least 3 games in a row at some point during conference play. And that, I think, shows 2 things: the strength of the league and the grind of this league. I mean, because the best team in our league also went through a 3-game losing streak at some point and still won the league by 2 games. I mean, so just you're going to have those moments during the season, and what you got to do is you got to be able to hold your kids' attention enough that they don't get so distracted by the outside noise that they can still believe in what you're doing. And, you know, I give all the credit to our staff, but also to having good kids. If you don't have good kids in your program, you can't do what we've done. You can't lose 5 games in a row, still believe you have a chance to do some special things and find a way to just keep fighting. And so it's a testament to, you know, what we've tried to establish over the last, you know, now almost 6 full seasons, and where we hope to continue to build so that we can continue to have consistent success. And, you know, there's always going to be nights or games or consecutive games where we don't meet the mark. It's not for lack of effort. The kids were trying hard. We were also playing against really good teams, and sometimes you got to give credit to your opponent.
Got one right here and then another one in the back.
Yeah, Mike, same question I asked Tyreek. What is the starting line, the new starting lineup, what does that do for your defense?
Well, I think, you know, it does several things. Obviously, it makes us much more physical, certainly on the front line. You know, the lineup we had been starting before that was Woody and Caleb, you know, basically at the 4-5, which they're 2 thinner guys with not as much physicality. So it makes us much more physical, but it also helps us offensively kind of know with that lineup, we're going to play through our guards primarily. And so with Caleb kind of struggling here, honestly, here in the last couple of weeks, rather than continue to try to force that square peg in a round hole, let's just try to figure out another way until we can get him back on board. And obviously he played a little bit better today. He gave us some energy, but I think the physicality and then, knowing we got better screeners and, really demoralizing, I would imagine, that possession where Tyreek gets 2 offensive rebounds flying all over the place late in the game where maybe they had a little bit of life. I think that really was like the last, punch for them. And I think their physicality, length, and just their competitiveness on the glass really gives us a great edge to start the game.
Yeah, Coach in the back.
In the back, Coach.
Chris Williams, News 9. 19 hours till tip-off with Texas. What challenges do they present, and what do you guys have to do to make it a favorable matchup for you?
I got to stop talking to you guys and get some rest. No, they're really good. I mean, we obviously played them, twice during the year. It was a defensive struggle in Stillwater. It was our first game without Musa, I believe, and then we played them in Austin, and we didn't have Musa there either. Obviously, I'm banking on having him tomorrow, and hopefully he makes a little bit of a difference for us. But they're really dynamic. They got a lot of talented offensive players, but they also take pride on the defensive end and making sure they make it difficult on you to score. So the first thing we got to do is get our kids rested and get some food in their bodies and then put a quick game plan together. It's the unique thing about this league. It's not like some leagues where maybe you only play a team once and we haven't played them since January. We haven't played them since January, but we have played them twice, and we've watched them a lot. So we kind of have a pretty good feel of who they are and what they do well. And we got our hands full. They're really good. They finished second in the league for a reason.
2 more questions for Coach Boynton. First one's right here.
The first 2 games you used Avery and Caleb Asbury more so on Grant. Today was more John Michael Wright. Is that size dependent? And what did you think of the job that John Michael did?
I thought he did a really good job. I mean, I thought our help defense was as good as it's been in a long time. And when I say help, I don't mean rotation. I mean already being in position if a guy got beat. And, we had a couple shot clock violations, which when I see that means our guys are really connected. There's really not a place to go. Teams don't do shot clock violations on purpose. I mean, they're trying to get a shot. And so 30 seconds is a long time to not find a place to go with the ball. So I just thought that collectively, the 5 guys on the court, most of the game were pretty dialed in on their assignment. And we obviously did a really good job on Grant, John Michael, and Asbury, and Bryce Thompson, and Chris Harris when he was in there.
One more for Coach Boynton. Anybody want it? Let's go right here.
Yeah, Mike, 3 double-digit wins over OU, and us that don't really know the game as well as you do think we know why. Why do you think this is such a good matchup for OSU this season against the Sooners?
I don't know if I've thought about. I don't know if I've thought about it that way, to be honest. What I've thought about every time is how do we play well. I mean, they got really good players, and I have so much respect for Coach Moser because I've seen what he's been able to do once he has a program established. I just think that sometimes our length around the rim has bothered them, made it difficult for them to be able to get easy shots, and we try to make them play over that length and not around it, if you will. So being in position, to Marshall's question, makes them have to go over us and not giving them angles. And it's hard to go over Cisse and Boone when he's really good, and even Tyreek Smith, who had a couple really good blocks today as well.
For more information, you can visit TulsaWorld.com.